We can't deny the fact that the punching incident that happened between Draymond Green and Jordan Poole played a huge part in the Warriors' somewhat expected downfall last season. After trading him for Chris Paul, Poole is finally out of the shadows of the Splash Brothers and now working towards being his own man in Washington. The question now is, will he sink or swim in his new lead role? And if he does swim, how exactly does JP3's skill set fit with the guys playing in DC? Now, before we get to the meat of the matter, let's take a quick look at his performance in the last 2 seasons. Poole was a major contributor during the Dubs' last championship run back in the 2021 to 2022 season, averaging 18.5 points on 44.8% shooting from the field and 92.5% from the foul line. However, although he did have a slightly better scoring output last season, you can see that his overall efficiency went down and come playoff time. His numbers have sunk to new lows, which was why the Dubs had an easier time of letting him go despite the fact that they signed him to a 4-year extension worth $140 million. Now, something must have changed with JP3 as to why his game plummeted like that. Obviously, his clash with Draymond had something to do with that, and perhaps the Dubs wanted him to play in a certain way or embrace a certain role that's beyond his comfort zone. But whatever the case may be, that's all in the rear view for JP3 as he now looks to turn a new chapter in his young career. Anyways, despite how poorly JP3 ended his stint with the Dubs, it didn't accurately reflect his true value during the time when he was playing at a borderline all-star level. In his 4 seasons with the Warriors, JP3 has transformed into becoming one of the flashiest and dynamic scorers in the league. And this is precisely the stuff that Poole is going to bring over to Washington next season. See, Poole is a gifted shot creator, so much so that he can just break down defenses using his handles and skills alone, just like what he did here. Now, when he's in the zone, Poole can make difficult shots such as this one look so smooth and easy. And when he's not ankle-breaking people or doing some spectacular move as a ball handler, it doesn't make him any less effective as a scorer, because he can also get buckets while cutting and moving off ball. If you take a closer look at this list, he has a deep offensive bag because he can literally make any type of shot available out there. Whether it's as simple as a jump shot, down to the complicated ones like making off-the-bank floaters. Now, aside from being a crafty scorer and amazing finisher around the rim, JP3 has also developed a great feel for the game, which allowed him to toggle between his scoring ability and playmaking tendency on the fly with ease. See, in this play, JP3 does his usual thing by knifing through the defense using a bunch of flashy maneuvers. However, this time though, he didn't force the issue and instead acted as decoy so that he could set up this nice alley-oop play to Ja Green coming off the baseline. Same thing here. After using Draymond's pick, JP3 just destroyed their defense with one single move. And after drawing the remaining guys at the paint, he once again fed Green on the baseline with a nice no-look dime this time around. According to advanced stats, JP3 passes the ball 32.2% of the time when he drives. And this is one of the reasons why teams have a hard time in containing Poole, cause he can make that extra pass anytime with his ability to gravitate the defense onto him. And in addition, his ability to create shots for himself and his teammates makes Jordan Poole a possible legit two-way threat offensively for the Wizards next season if he plays his cards right. There's no question that JP3 brings a ton of upside on the offensive end of the ball. But as great as he is in putting points on the scoreboard, there are some glaring issues in his game that need to be addressed badly, such as the way he throws the ball. JP3 was ranked 4th in the league when it comes to committing unforced turnovers, and the only guys that were above him in this category were Russell Westbrook, Anthony Edwards, and Trae Young. You can see his indecisiveness and poor decision-making in a lot of offensive possessions last season, like when he just jumps into the air with no idea what he's going to do next. Check out this sequence. JP3 was able to cut through the middle of the defense, which then opened up the shooters located at the wing and corner. However, instead of making an easy pass to either one of them, JP3 suddenly throws an errant pass to the third row for some reason and botches this play. Now, aside from turning the ball over at a high rate, the other alarming area of his game lies on his defense, with emphasis on guarding ball screens. Notice how he easily let Schroeder to get to his sweet spot in this play. After the handoff, Poole didn't even bother to fight over the initial pick, and if that wasn't enough, he went under yet again on the second. Since JP3 wasn't able to shadow his man and recover in time, Schroeder had all the space in the world to take this easy, uncontested floater off the glass. He was so bad at defending ball screens that a lot of teams were specifically hunting him down in these kinds of plays. And when you take a look at his defensive numbers when he was playing alongside the Warriors' Big Three, you can see that JP3 is clearly the missing link in their defense, as they got beaten by 5.1 points when he plays with them. And even without the Splash Brothers and Draymond, the Warriors were beaten by roughly the same number of points as long as JP3 gets fielded in any lineup. Anyways, despite his defensive flaws, I think JP3's elite-level scoring and sporadic spurts of decent facilitating are good enough to offset this glaring weakness of his. And that said, he's definitely going to be a major contributor in the offensive end for the Wizards next season one way or another. If you take a look at their current lineup, the Wizards clearly lack a legit offensive threat aside from Kyle Kuzma, who averaged 21.2 points per game last season. Then, the next leading scorer after him was Corey Kispert, who averaged 11.1, followed by Daniel Gafford with 9 points a ball game. JP3, on the other hand, averaged 19.4 points in his last 2 seasons with the Warriors, and without Stephen Clay by his side for the first time in his career, plus the fact that Bradley Beal and Kristaps Porzingis got shipped out, those scoring numbers will surely go up as he tries to position himself as the primary scoring option for the Wizards next season. As a team, the Wizards were ranked 22nd in offensive rating last season, and 18th and beyond in three-point percentage, 3 points made, and three-point attempts. These are some areas that they'll try to improve on next season, and with JP3 added into the mix, I think it's not going to be that hard since putting up buckets has always been JP3's wheelhouse. Now, speaking of offense, JP3 can also boost the Wizards' scoring production coming off pick-and-roll situations. To put context into this, Tyus Jones ran 318 pick-and-rolls as a backup for Jay Morant, while Monty Morris had 220 and Kuzma with 261 for the Wizards. Meanwhile, Jordan Poole ran 472 pick-and-rolls in total and averaged 5.3 points per 5.8 possessions. His efficiency in the two-man game will create a ton of scoring opportunities, not just for himself, but for his teammates as well. And apart from this, he can also help the Wizards in scoring buckets in early transition by quickly getting shots up while the defense has yet to set up. See, JP3 plays at a fast pace and thrives in transition. When he noticed that the Raptors' defense was not yet established, he attacked him quickly before they could even react, and that resulted in a quick 2 points for the Warriors. And in this last play, look at how quick JP3 scored in this possession the moment he crossed the timeline. Based on the odds of some betting websites, Jordan Poole is one of the leading candidates to take home the Most Improved Player award next season, and I couldn't agree more. His only competition right now in terms of touches is Kyle Kuzma, and should Kuzma decide to take shots more than his fair share, I think there's still quite a lot of room for JP3 to unleash his true, unrestrained potential and possibly take it to a whole new, different level since he ain't the third wheel anymore.